Okay. Oh no, that's still going. There. Stopped. No, still very slow. Oh, hello. Retro Tech Ralph here. Don't you ever wonder which one's got the fastest lid of the... no, neither do I, to be honest. But I got all three of these out because I'm going to do a Sega Saturn cleanup because this needs it. This is one of my latest... This is my latest console of time of filming. Didn't get as much good as the N64, but it comes with a game, it comes with the two controllers, it comes with the cable. Actually, it didn't come with the cable. I would have to buy a USB for that, or a SCART. But I need to strip this down and clean it. It works perfectly fine, but I hope that's just not I hope that's just a scratch. But this needs to get stripped down and opened up and see what's what inside it, because it's absolutely filthy and I have no idea inside here. Absolutely no idea. So let me just put these away. I mean, one of the reasons I actually brought these out is because they are very similar. Obviously Sega, but then Sony. There's talk that the Xbox was actually a potential Sega replacement. There's talk that the Sony was actually the Sega replacement, but you can see that is a possibility because they all seem to work in certain ways. They've all got your standard figure 8 power supplies on the back. They've all got a special port on the back for the AV out. So why wouldn't you? But let me get this thing stripped down and have a look inside and start this ball rolling. Now, anybody new to the Sega Saturn will, like me, will have no idea. I'm still not 100% certain whether or not the cartridge slot actually has games for it or whether it's a memory upgrade. Everything's on discs and I keep pressing the reset button because that's where on the PlayStation it opens a lid, but it's on front. So it's a laser-based system, CD-based system. It's dirty, very dirty, and needs opening up. So I thought, well, I've actually seen videos on this anyway, so I'm okay, I'm learned. It looks like there's 1, 2, oh, by the way, this is the Mark II because those are rounded buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws to open it. I thought that was one there, but there's a ribbon cable behind it. So let me get these 5 screws off and we'll have a look and see what's actually inside this. I'm not expecting much, to be honest. I'm expecting similar to the Dreamcast, where there's a couple of bits of board, power supply, and a CD reader, but not much else. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else I might have. Yeah, that's just the part of the area. So let me get these 5 screws out, and we can get the top off this. And with the screws out of the bag, they're actually quite long holes, these. They're not massively long screws, they're just kind of, yeah, normal Phillips headed screwdrivers. But yes, they're just 5 screws on there, just a little bit awkward to get. So if you've got a long drill bit, it will be a lot easier than faff around. So let's get the top off of this. Straight away, it looks like the back comes off. I think that back, is that back for the... There's an expansion slot in the back of there. I don't know if you can tell that or not. Might be able to get a better angle at that later on. But there's also a battery on there as well. We'll replace that one. Looks like a standard 2032. And this needs a bit of a clean. I wonder if I can take the lid off. Looks like that will come off and spring round for there for the release button. I'm pressing there. We'll put a little bit of oil on there. Looks like it's a little bit of worn on there anyway. Put a little bit of grease on there Helps that out no end. Yeah, because if you push that back, there's a bit on there. So yeah, that's fine. That's just plastic worn over the years. So we'll do that. It works perfectly fine. Just a little bit of grease and grime inside the holes down here. Just wants a bit of a clean. Locks in place perfectly well. So the eject mechanism still wants a little bit of grease on the plastic cogs. Bit of cleaning on here. It's very quite easy to get to on the lid here. I don't think I'm going to bother putting this in the dishwasher or putting it in a sink. Yeah, I might do actually. I'm not quite sure. So we'll put that to one side for a second. And the flap as well. Go in a tub for parts. Now let's have a look. Oh, that's very interesting. So, ribbon cable and power supply. Does that come off there or there? There. Right, so take off your power supply. I'm going to remove the ribbon cable from the drive. And as I've found out, there's another one part there which runs onto the bottom for no reason. I think this is just an earthing part there anyway, so we need to get another screwdriver on this. Take that out only. I have too big a screwdriver. This is really awkward. That's better. Very small screw with a washer. So be careful of that. I think I'll put the washer back on. Yeah. So that comes off of there. Onto one side. And then I've got the CD mechanism out. A little bit of oil I'll put on that later on. That just for the carriage. Backwards and forwards. This should reset itself once it's been done. I'll give this a good blowout. This capacitor looks fine. I'm not touching. If I start faffing with adjustables, I'll end up knackering it. So everything does look perfectly fine. This does work. This has tested as working fine. But we'll give it a service. Good clean out. Birass propanol on the lens as well. Will not go amiss. In fact, it's needed at this sort of stage. Right, next part. Looks like we've got a screw there holding the back of the power supply in. Wash out for the bottom end of that, maybe even that. The fuse seems to work all right, and I've got two screws there. So, to go beyond, that's very odd, isn't it? The light comes through onto there. I guess that's either clipped into place, that plastic, or not. So let me get the power supply out. I think it's just 3 screws and maybe a clip on the side there. And that comes down very much like the connector for a Sony PlayStation as well, that one. So you see the similarities, either they're all the Japanese use a lot of similar parts for their systems, or it's the same company. I don't know. Very much similar design on a lot of systems. So let me get the power supply out and see what she looks like after that. And with 3 screws out, 1, 2 and 3, this is multi-connector holding everything from the power supply to the board. So gentle pull back of that tab over here and then lift up, and you'll see, get you in on that right in the middle. See the pins vanish, and then behind, there they are there. So what I need to do is just take this connector off here and watch that transformer electrocute me. She's actually not that bad. Ah, it's a push in. You nip it and it comes up. Right, okay, I was thinking it'd pull out. So the fuse works fine, otherwise this would not work. That'll give it a bit of a clean. Caps are very flat. So that's very nice for power supply. That's actually loose. Or is it? No. No, that's fine. Okay, thought there was a problem there, but it's not. So power supply out. Long cable leading to the power button, which is one thing that I found here that's kind of weird. You've got a power button which is raised off of the board and then wired up to the back. However, on the case, your reset button has a massive long switch there, which goes through that hole right there. So that's a bit weird to start with. So yeah, let's get down a little bit further, shall we? Plastic potentially comes off there. Yeah, it's on that tab again. That comes off, protects an idiot from touching anything on there. So let's get rid of the ribbon cable as well while we're here. Gently pull that out, put it over to one side. Actually, put that in there. Now, to get the rest off, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws to get down to the board. I'll have to do the middle one as well. So that's 11 screws. So like with everything with these, I'll put a magnet on the screwdriver and collect all the screws and keep them separate. Hence I've got one there, and that little one in the middle, which hopefully shouldn't be attracted by any of them. Now let's start unscrewing this and see if I can get, if it comes off the board, off the base, then I can clean the base and potentially give a little bit of a clean out. It's like those stands are there for a reason. Okay. See, potentially on when you actually upgrade these to having, it's the emulator for the CD drive. You'll still use a ribbon cable from this to the drive, but you can take the drive out and connect back in, and that's one of the easiest mods I know about. Actually, the easiest mod is EverDrive. They're absolutely brilliant. Just plug it straight into a system, which these don't have. So let me go with screwing these, or unscrewing these, and we'll see what the board looks like underneath. The screws are out. I think I forgot about that one there, but they're up here anyway. They're in order. There's a couple of screws that are smaller than the others. I don't think it matters too much. Looks like it's, yeah, the one over here, one there, and the one there a little bit shorter. Perhaps even these two in the corners are shorter as well, but I don't, it might not matter too much. But let's get this lifted out if we can. It's kind of coming, but it's not. Let me turn upside down, see if I can get it that way easier. Can this just get off? Nope. Perhaps there's another screw somewhere holding it in place. Is the board stuck on the bottom there? See these control panels? No. Look at the ports. Why does this not want to come out? That would look like it would come out back end first and then slide forward. Yeah, there we go. Because these go through the holes at the front first, so they lock in place and then down. So that can come out and get cleaned. Nothing much in there, to be honest. I'm quite impressed. There's not full of ants, spiders or whatever's. Another piece for the cleaning. So, try and get this top section. The bottom section wants to come straight off. It's not too bad. A little bit of a tinkle with the toothbrush and some isopropanol, but that'll give us a good look at the back. Now, not quite sure as to why there's residue on the chips. Whether or not it's just flux from the production or not. Perhaps something may have leaked. I hope not. Another chip in the corner there. Right, so we've got some plastic parts on here. Potentially the controller port might not lift off with plastic. Looks like the plastic part tabs on here and soldered in place on there and there, just for strengthening. Hold it in place while you solder. So hell of a lot on there, isn't there? 4 layers. So anything screw-wise, one there. Right. Okay, is that holding everything in place on here? Looks like it might be. It might not be as well. Okay. Ooh, okay. Anything else holding in place? It's lipped over there. Here's the multi-port, and there we go. Underside. See, all these standoffs are screwed into place. I was hoping they might have just been pushed in with the little tabs there, but it's not. Bit of copper there for earthing. Not bad condition, to be honest. Just wants a bit of a clean. Full safety against, replaced with same fuses and stuff like that. Of course, any normal person back in the day wouldn't have gone this far. I mean, there's like a little carriage there to potentially guide into this port over here. I don't know what that would do. I know there's a is it Phantom that's coming out to give you the games on these, and that will plug directly into here. So that will. Got sensors on here. That will do for that instead of taking off the drive, which I prefer, but I think they're a lot more expensive. And I don't exactly want to fork out a fortune on something that I won't be using every day. Typical deposits on the ports for the gaming port, monitor port there. I actually used that one instead of that. But we'll give this a good clean. All those connectors there, pretty. It's a shame looking at some of these that you've got a history here and it's completely gone because Sega don't do this sort of stuff anymore. And some levels I wish they would. I know the Mega Drive Mini came out and it's nice, it's pretty, it's, yeah, it's great having that, but do as a console, do as a proper bona fide console, will you, Sega? Get back into the race. It would be lovely to see you back again. So everything looks, I'm not entirely sure if these are starting to dome. It's not I'm not going to do anything with them yet anyway. If I see any issues with these, then I will potentially replace. And there's not, well, this circuit mounted through, the through-hole ones. So it's doable. They're very tiny, but they are doable through-hole capacitors. Give it a count, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18, so they're more than a Spectrum. 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27. At least 30, 31, 32 possibly through holes. But if you look on them, they are quite small. I'd use a smaller tip to get these off anyway. It's a dotted section, like I don't know, I'm going to say they were going to plan something, but it looks like it's got as much earthing as it could possibly get with having all these dotted sections all the way around the board, which is quite interesting. Now, I'm going to go to town with a toothbrush and some isopropanol and get all these contacts cleaned, dust blowing off everything, replace the battery, blow out the, well, not literally blow out, but get a good blowout in the power supply, clean the case up, and we'll see what a bit of soap and water and isopropanol will actually do for this thing. Well, I'm nearly done with cleaning. I just want to show you the reset button. So you see, it's on there and it's kind of extended to go onto the board, but it just shows you the year's worth of grime. I mean, this is this one just pushes out. You pull it, put in 2 tabs in from inside here, push through, push out, and it comes out. But it's the collection of dirt more than the actual, more than the actual parts that need replacing on this one, which is the major problem with it. But still, once it's all cleaned and done, I've disinfected myself, then everything's fine and it'll all work perfectly well. And I've got a mint conditioned Sega Saturn, hopefully. I'm just about ready for reassembly. It's a hell of a lot better than what it was. All the grime on the edges have gone. Little bits I'm going to find anyway, but I can clean them up as I'm going along. I'm not after absolute perfect. I'd love it if I had a mint sealed in and verified that it was sealed in version of anything, but yeah, I have to get out and play these anyway. But if you remember the lid from the beginning, my little faffing around bit, and press that, that's better, isn't it? Bit of a clean, and down she goes. A little bit of oil. You need to put some little bit of grease on each one of these things that move. It just kind of keeps them going for a little bit longer. But that is a hell of a lot quicker than what it was. So yeah, I need to carry on reassembling, getting on with this, and put it back together. And test, make sure I haven't broke this. I haven't actually broke any so far. That's really good. This was the first time. Okay, we're back to full assembly now. I'm going to show you the, yeah, there's certain areas that need cleaning. It's usually the high impact areas where you're going to be pressing certain bits anyway, so it's obviously grease from your hands and whatever else, sticky kids and stuff like that. So let's go with, there's the front. Now it looks like these are self-explanatory how these go back in anyway. If that doesn't fit there, what does it? No. So just use common sense, that fits in fine. Wherever it fits will work. So let me go through a fast forward of this being reassembled. Hopefully it should be quite fun. Put a bit of daft music in the background, I think, maybe. And then we'll get all these pieces back in place again. There we go, toothbrush away, everything seems to be clean. That's a hell of a lot better than what it was before. Now, the thing that's getting me with this is with putting the lid on, it just doesn't seem to fit right. And I don't know why. You kind of, there's a lip there between the top and the bottom. It's on perfect. It's supposed to be. There's like this groove along here, which is the shiny plastic, but there's a kind of a lip on the bottom of it. And it doesn't seem to be the same on both sides. Either I put this on wrong, or Sega just rushed through making a console. And I'm probably guessing Sega rushed to get through a console. Never noticed this to start with. But it looks like this shiny part would actually be inside it, but it doesn't, it's wider. But you've got the whole bit around. So it has to. So, last little bits, I've changed the battery. If you notice at the beginning of the fast forward bit, I did change the battery over. I don't know if that's going to make any difference or not, if it's going to lose all the saves. To be honest, they're not my saves. So I'm going to make some new ones. Back door cover, if we ever get a Phantom, that will go in there. If not, then it'll be a replacement for the CD drive. So reset button, nice and clean. Goes in there, pushes in place. Feel it pressing the button, and then the open button, which is a pain in the bum because how fast that goes now. It's nicely oiled in there. If you look inside there now, there's a blob of oil with that, and that will stay there. Just keep that well lubed. Clip, up and clip, up and clip, up and clip. So now I'm putting my own grease on these buttons. Now they're all perfectly clean. So, done. Now let's see if this works. I'm really happy with it. It's come out quite well, and I wasn't too sure it would. And it's not bad at all. I would love to have had one of those grey ones with the blue buttons, the Japanese ones, but the power supply would need changing. But I'm not sure if you can actually take that power supply out of this and put it in the case, or just take all the gubbins out of the inside of this and just change the case over. I suspect you possibly could be able to. So you could make a Japanese case version of a UK spec Sega Saturn. Right, so let me get the controller, the cable, the power cable's there, and a game, and see if this actually still works. Now, we have the TV, you're on the tripod, Sega Saturn, and power is on. There you go. Now I'm assuming that the battery, seeing as this happened last time, that the battery was flat last time, because it didn't have any settings in here for this. So English, set. What day are we on today? Oh. This is today's date, but not the date that this video is being published. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, whatever, what time we on, I don't know. Let's set it at proper time. 14:42 is that? Okay, so I'll assume it was a battery backup for the clock only. Pretty. 1995. What was I doing back then? I wasn't doing this. So drive is empty, so it's reading the drive. I don't have a memory card for this. So it's just basically a CD and G channel. Set? I don't know what that means. So let's go back. Right, final test. Make sure that's a reset button. Checking disc format. Now you saw it, I did it. Tracks, 17 tracks. That's interesting. Play. Oh, so this is actually reading Sega Rally, and sorry, this is the only game I've got. I need to get some others. Advanced controls? What I want is it to go program sequence, basic controls. What I wanted to do is actually press the reset button and start the game off. So it's not asking for the time now, so the battery is fine. So the battery isn't for any settings or anything, it's just for the clock, which is fine, which is done. So with we have Sega Sports. It's an interesting angle. Gamester. Oh dear.
Sega Rally Championship.
Got some volume up on the TV. There we go. So that is reading, playing. And one more game on this. See, I'm a bit, well, it's more like a Mega Drive with the controls there. Let's go for the different car this time, shall we? So last time we had the Celica Corolla or whatever it is. Shoulder buttons.
Three, two, one, go.
It's those lines on the back that annoy me.
Easy right.
Oh, that's better.
Easy left. Easy
Ah, no! Over the wall. What should we be thinking? I'm trying to think where my hands are, to be honest. So you can see the controls as I'm going.
Easy right. Long, medium right.
Long, medium, right.
Easy right.
Oh, you took me to the wall.
Over jump.
Woo!
Easy left.
In the wall. I know.
Easy left. Easy right.
Occasionally I'm looking down at the camera. That was what happened there.
Very long, easy right, baby.
Maybe. What's a maybe? So am I better than before? Yeah, I actually made it to, I actually made it to finish. So, well, I'm 14th, which is no good, but I actually finished it this time. So, things can only be getting better with me. So, it works, it's clean, it's happy. Well, I'm happy. Let's get the camera back up there and let's finish this review off. Ah, damn it. Ah, shit. Ah, I'm in the wall again.
Very long, easy right.
I'm not even looking at the camera this time. And my way birds. So, what I've figured out is, if you can hear, the disc is spinning. Before, it was... Not on this video, on a one before where I had, it was actually catching on something. So that's been cured pretty well. It's all cleaned up, it works perfect. Sega Rally works okay. But my biggest problem is this. I'm not going to bother restoring these. I'm not going to bother cleaning these. I'm going to get my hand sanitizer out pretty soon. I'm certain that that is the proper controller. And the second one I got, that is a drafts piece. I'm positive that has fell off and it's a draft piece on top of there. It has to be, because they're exactly the same but the controller. Made at different times, QC clear, one QC gold, but that's a draft piece. But I'm going to buy myself a decent controller. Or two. Actually, I might buy myself the original controller, which is that sized, and that stupidly round one for the Sega Saturn. So I can get playing this as Sega intended us insane people to do. I'm going to figure out what cartridges go in there as well. So there you have it. That's a fully restored. I'm really impressed with how easy that was. It wasn't mechanically knackered. It was physically covered in crap. And I need to wash my hands, sanitize and all sorts. Oh, I'm bleeding. That's good. I always find that when I do a job, if I cut myself and I bleed, it's good. It seems to work fine. If I don't cut myself and I've done a job, it never seems to work right. So double thumbs up for the Sega Saturn. I'm going to enjoy playing this, and in the future we're going to upgrade this with other things, maybe put some region mods. I don't know. If you've got any ideas of what I can do with this, apart from give it away to you or play all the time, but if you've got any ideas of upgrades, potential other videos that we can do for this, I'm still annoyed with that lip on there, but I'll get used to it. But this is going to go on the shelf. It's absolutely brilliant. Please comment below about what I can do with this, and yeah, I'll catch you in another video. Please like, subscribe to the channel, comment below, please share this. If I tweet this or if I Instagram it, please retweet or whatever. Please, yeah, well, we're getting close to an 800, maybe more subscriber mark. We need to get this 1,000 subscriber mark kicked in and got on with, to be honest. So thank you all for watching. If you want to donate something and I can have a go at repairing it, if it's absolutely knackered, then send it in, see what I can do with it. Worst case, it could be parts for another project we can do. We can get it on screen. So thank you again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now. And just for the laugh of it, so we have 1, 2, 3, go. Miles in front. Absolutely miles in front.